as long as I can remember, a time of worship has been synonymous with a time of praise music. We lifted hands and laser light shows and hear the most amazing music. And all of this is good. But it does make me wonder, is this everything God intended it to be? Like, what if worship was meant to look like more than just songs? In the book of Isaiah, God talks about how people would come near him with their mouth and honor him with their lips. You know, like we often talk about paying someone lip service. And it was interesting because he said that when people do that, their hearts are far from him. And he would go on to say that their worship is more based on human rules and what they've been taught. And as we look around today, we see that we've been pushed out of our comfort zone, out of our buildings, out of the things we know, and out of the rules that we've been taught. So it made me wonder a little bit if, what God's intending. And in the book of Ezekiel, I know that he talks about that he'll do almost anything to recapture the hearts of his people, to remove false idols from us, to bring us back into the true heart of worship, and what that really looks like. And sometimes I don't know if we know that answer. I think it's hard not to think of songs when we think of what it means to worship. And if we move from an understanding of a time of worship into a lifestyle of worship, like in the book of Romans, it says, "Therefore I urge you, brothers and sisters, in the view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship." So in Romans, they're telling us that if we're really going to worship God in a true and proper way, it has to be done through a living sacrifice. How we live our lives, our day-to-day moments. So what does it even mean to live your everyday life, your everyday moments, as if you were worshiping God? I think it's understanding that worship is much more of a how you do life, the lens you look through. So every single activity, whether you're going on walks with your kids, or doing dishes, if you're cleaning, eating, serving people, even doing the most mundane things. Sometimes we take for granted things like going to work, or think like, how could I do anything that's going to help, especially now, right? Like we're not really allowed to go out in public very often. We can't really see each other in person. So how do we help people? How do we reach out? Do we really know how to pray to bring healing? Worship is understanding that it involves honesty. It's your heart's most inward cry to know and to be honest with God, not just about the good times, like thank you God for the blessings. It's great to be grateful and to have gratitude for things big or small. Like if you get a blessing, or you're just playing in mud puddles, it's all good. But it's about honesty and being honest with God, honest with what your heart truly desires, honest with what's really on your mind. And when you take that honesty, you start having this presence, this posture that tells you that you're putting God first in all your priorities, whether you're doing anything, no matter how big or small that is. And that's what it means to have a lifestyle of worship. So the sound of worship, we're so used to hearing these big sounds of worship. But what if the sound of worship sounded more like this?
That ball. No, that ball.
So I guess in conclusion, what I'm hoping we can do as we move together as a community, as a church body, is that we can start moving towards a different image of what worship really looks like. We don't want to wait. We don't want to wait to have worship service until we're allowed back into buildings, or we can play songs together and sing as one. My challenge for us as we move into really trying to better understand what it means to be at the heart of worship and to really give God our heart in worship is that our songs sound more like actions. And they don't have to be big. They can be your day-to-day in your house. It's taking that moment to be grateful and appreciative of what God has put right there with you, in front of you, in all the little stuff. And if we can also change the way it looks like, if we raise our hands or sing out loud, that's great, that's wonderful, and I hope we keep doing that. I just hope that's not the only picture God gets from us. And maybe he can have a few more pictures where we're reading stories to our children, or we're thanking God that we have an opportunity to help someone, or we're just cooking dinner, or maybe cleaning the house, or just being happy that we have an opportunity to go back to work, or being grateful for the moments of waiting and following God into the unknown. Whatever these images look like, my challenge for us is to celebrate them and appreciate them as worship, so that everything we do, big or small, we do it with the full understanding that how we do it is what makes it worship.